What's up, good people? This is Lance of BH Capital Enterprises, where I teach and instruct Black people on how to navigate the stock market. Specifically, most of my teachings center around teaching people how to read price action on charts. So, I really believe that, charts is a really, really good supplement or complement to whatever strategy you use currently, especially if you're not strictly, but heavier on the fundamental side, as far as, trading strategies is concerned. So, if you have any questions or uh, want to know anything about what I offer when it comes to charting services, feel free to hit me up. I have partnered with Onyx Wealth Solutions, so Sharika over there, Onyx Wealth Solutions, will be doing a live seminar on price action, specifically charting, as well as trading psychology and how the two go hand in hand. So that'll be the central theme of the entire seminar. Seminar is going down in the Raleigh, North Carolina area on June 18th through the 22nd. But the actual seminar days are the 19th through the 21st. So that's Saturday through a Monday, with that Friday and Tuesday being travel days for those people that will be traveling, maybe from out of state or from out of some other city or whatever. Those would be travel days. So we won't be doing anything really on those days. Um, the first 2 days will be just classroom instruction, and then that last day, that Monday, will be applying what we've learned over the past 2 days or the previous 2 days, in the market. So you'll get to see us live and in effect. But anyway, welcome to the latest episode of Market Markup. It's been a little while since I've done one, and I do apologize for that. But since I recently did a market markup on Estee Lauder, I thought it would be fitting to do one on ULTA as well, since they're in the same industry. So yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and get started. Uh, ULTA is a lot more volatile in general than Estee Lauder is. Um, it tends to be a pretty volatile company. Um, Not the most volatile of them out there, but more volatile than your Verizons and Twitters and Snaps and stuff like that. So obviously bullish here on this yearly chart. You can see a lot of selling and buying pressure, as evidenced by these long wicks on certain candlesticks. So a lot of tug of war stuff happening in this time period here. But finally, Estee Lauder broke, not Estee Lauder, sorry, Ulta broke right around here in 2020, about that 255 range. So that's a pretty key level on the yearly chart. So that's something that I would definitely keep an eye on. Um, Not to say that Ulta is going to retest that level or it's going back down there, but if it does, then I know, hey, that's that yearly level. Actually, I'm just gonna name this. All right, so yearly chart. So when I hover over it, it'll let me know, okay, this is a level on the yearly chart. So lots of selling pressure prior to 2020 above that 225 level. And so finally, like I said, 2020 it broke. And so we got a breakout above that level, but not quite out of the water yet with Ulta. Um, Really, that's kind of all I'm seeing at the moment. I would probably, kind of pay attention to this angle here. Um, but this is the yearly chart, so it'll take quite some time before we see like some sentiment changing on the yearly chart. So, but yeah, so mainly I would pay attention to these two trend lines here, um, especially as earnings is approaching. I'm actually going to take that one off. So earnings, I'm not even sure when the next earnings is. Okay, so end of May. So end of May. Okay. So far, ULTA has breached 340 but failed to hold that level so far. Um, Not too far off from its all-time high. And let's take a look at the monthly chart. All right, so with the monthly chart, you can kind of see where the price has been in relation to that 255 or that mid 200s area. Um, Kind of just oscillating above and below. But for that monthly time frame, even more significant, I would say, than 250. The mid 250s is the low 200s. So got a break above that level back in, oh, that was 2016. Okay, so 2016 it broke above 200 for the first time. Moved even above that 225, and then it came back down and retested that low 200s area and bounced again. So that seems to be a pretty common occurrence historically with ULTA, with the price bouncing from 200. So that would be somewhere around in this area. I would make note of that as well. Monthly chart, I don't know what color I want to keep this, but we'll just say monthly chart. All right, so monthly chart there. And then here we have about low 300s. Is I wouldn't say a more significant level, but it's kind of key. Um, but not as significant as these couple of levels here, but still a level that I will watch as it recently broke out of this level this year. So low 300s is something that I would watch. See if it's gonna kind of uh, maybe oscillate a little bit between in a narrow range. So consolidate a little bit. I mean, um, and then see what happens next as it heads toward earnings. I can see overall that volume has kind of dropped off. So that's pretty consistent with, maybe we're going to see some consolidation. But again, this is the monthly chart. So, something like that would take months to, play out. Do I see anything? Do I see anything here? Kind of like a channel going on here. Um, yeah, we got a pretty steep channel going on overall, um, with the most recent channel being about right here. So that's pretty consistent with what we saw on Estee Lauder a few weeks ago, when I did the market markup on that one. So we'll see how it looks when I get down to the weekly and the daily chart. Um, and actually, I'm just going to take this one off because it's less significant. But yeah, so on the monthly chart, this is pretty much, ULTA has been pretty much trading between these two ranges So I'd be watching the upper and lower trend line of this pattern, but so far over the past, multiple months, it's been trading toward the top end of this trend line, but failing to break out of it. So um, can it even sustain a move above this trend line? I don't know, because that requires a pretty steep angle to do so. So maybe it'll, taper off a little bit and then break out, or maybe it breaks down. Anything can happen, really. Anything can happen. Um, but let's see. Weekly chart. All right, so you can see it a lot better here with this weekly chart. Um, do I see anything here? No, we had a nice breakout there. That doesn't really matter now. Take that off. So Estee Lauder, dang, I keep saying Estee Lauder. ULTA, right now is kind of consolidating. So right now on the weekly chart, it's kind of trading between the low 300s to about the mid 300s range. So maybe it has entered like a supply area. So this little area is one that I would probably keep an eye on um, in the near future. So about right here. And actually I can get rid of these trend lines. And we'll just keep the rectangle there. So a break out of this area really can see ULTA moving toward that new all-time high, 360 plus. Really maybe even 360 plus. And if it can beat that 360s, then it's going to 370, 380s area. And that's, over the next several weeks. So it'll take some time. I believe that'll probably happen within the next 6 or so months, especially if ULTA does well on earnings. So usually during this time of year, spring, heading into summer, they have some very popular events. I forget what they're called, but usually around that time, they tend to have a nice, decent run up. As you can see here in 2018, there was a run from 238 all the way to the all-time high by summer. Last year was just COVID, but after bottoming out with COVID, it's pretty much been running ever since. Let's see. I'm gonna actually go to the 5 year and kind of dig into that a little more. See if I see a pattern here. So yeah, here you got it running up into summer. Here running up into summer. Here kind of shaky, but overall from the beginning of the year to summer, it increased. Here running up to summer. Here it was on its way to running up to summer, and then COVID struck, and and then right now it's kind of doing the same thing where it's kind of running up into summer. So um chance for, maybe even by, maybe by summer, before summer is out, if all goes well, ULTA will at least be probably 380, somewhere in there. I won't say at least 380, but I'll say at least 360 and over, with 380 being my top side target. It could beat that, but that's just, my me on the more conservative end of that. So a break out of this zone, then ULTA is heading for 360, 370, 380. A breakdown below that zone, below this zone, so below about 300, ULTA may head back down toward this mid 250s, and maybe even into this zone, especially if earnings disappoints, which is not for another maybe 6 weeks or so. Yeah, about 6 weeks probably. So that, I like to stay kind of neutral. But for me, as far as, if I were to consider a swing trade, and of course, this is not any type of investment advice, just doing this, because I enjoy it. Um, I won't mess with it as long as it's trading inside of this range, as far as a swing trade is concerned, that is. But day trading, short swings and stuff like that, that's a 40-point difference. So, there's plenty opportunity inside there. So, but as far as longer term potential, and I mean longer term, at least 3+ months out, bullish case, a break of 340, we can see 360, maybe even on up to 380. A bearish break, so below 300, we can see about 275, maybe even 255. So mid 250, somewhere in there. Like I said, that's just, over the course of several weeks. So not something I'm like it's gonna happen next week or anything like that. So that would be my bullish case, bullish and bearish case for ULTA. Let's take a look at this daily chart. Same thing, kind of trading in a channel. Actually, I'm just gonna do a 1 year. Trading in a channel. ULTA does appear to, like a lot of other companies in the market, run heading into earnings. And sometimes it runs pretty hard. So okay, so here, run, pulls back, runs a little bit more, then pulls back again, then runs hard into the next earnings. So it looks like right now, based on the pattern, it has hit that first pullback and bounced from there. So maybe there's another pullback coming. And maybe it retests. No. I won't rule that out. Maybe it retests these low 300, so below 310, and then takes off again. But that's something that I'll be watching for, and maybe it breaks out to reach maybe new all-time highs before earnings. Maybe. So yeah, so it filled the gap so far, rejected that area. Yeah, maybe it comes down to 320, maybe the 3 teens, maybe 310, and then bounces again and heads back up toward 360. So if I were considering a position on ULTA, that's probably what I'd be watching for, is just kind of being patient, and waiting for the right entry. So I'm gonna throw the 50 and 200 on there. So the 50 is right at 320. So I've mentioned the possibility of ULTA testing that 50-day moving average. The 200-day moving average is slightly above that mid 250s range that I drew here with the gold trend line. Yeah, we might there might be some potential here, you know, a little swing trade here. And I'm just talking to myself, of course. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing right here with ULTA. It's just gonna be a matter of, you know, being patient and not trying to force any sort of trade. You just, you know, you take what the markets give you. So if the markets give me uh, what I've, you know, planned for, then I just plan to be ready to seize the opportunity. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about ULTA. You know, I don't like to spend, you know, a crazy bunch of or a crazy amount of time looking at this stuff, because then I'll start to probably imagine stuff. So yeah, just, you know, waiting in the bushes for the right time to strike. You know, that's how it is with swing trades, and a lot of people think that, or are of the school of thought where it doesn't matter when I get in because I got plenty of time on the contract. But entry is everything. Entry is everything, and I've seen that many times. Other people from with that same school of thought, you know, that I mentioned, they see it, but they probably won't admit it. Um, but yeah, just be patient, man. Spend your time. Spend the time doing the due diligence. Work your plan, create your plan, and then when the time comes, not a moment sooner, not a moment later, you strike. You strike and you just let it go. Let it do what it do. Let the markets do what they do. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope to catch y'all in the next video. If there's something or a ticker that you guys want me to look at, I'll be happy to do that. I'm not sure what I'll be looking at next, but I'm sure I'll find something that's kind of sort of interesting to me, at least. But yeah, another slept on ticker, and that's ULTA. Make sure you know, check it out for yourself and let me know what you think.